Hello and welcome back to our continuing adventures in the Let's Defend platform. Today we are tackling the Malicious WordPress Challenge, or WordPress Plugin Challenge. This is a medium difficulty. Let's see, backstory. Our WordPress website has been hacked. However, it's unclear how exactly. The most likely explanation is that a plugin that was installed on the website had a remote code execution vulnerability. By taking advantage of this flaw, the hacker gained illegal access to the server's operating system. And then points to desktop challenge file, and then there's a WordPress.pcapng. And that is exactly the way that plays out. But for simplicity's sake, effectively, I have off-screen exported the pcapng, open that up inside of Wireshark to go full screen that I can show you. And I've also converted it back to a normal pcap to open up in Network Miner, because you need to have the paid version, and it's probably something I should look at doing in order to open up pcapng files. So we're presented with a series of questions, as usual. What is the IP address of the WordPress server? Two attackers were attempting to compromise our environment. What is the IP address of the first attacker based on time? What are the versions of the Apache and PHP servers deployed in our environment? And they want Apache version _ 8 or PHP version. During enumeration, the attacker tried to identify users on the site. How many users got enumerated? After enumeration, a brute force attack was launched against all users. What is the name of the page used for the brute force attack? The attacker successfully gained access to one of the accounts. What is the username and password for that account? Attacker username, password. There was a vulnerable plugin that the attacker exploited. What was the name of the plugin? What is the CVE number associated with that plugin? What is the C2 server IP address of the attacker? What is the name of the function the attacker tested the exploit with? What is the name and version of the attacker's server? What is the username that was logged on during the attack, including the domain? The attacker attempted to upload a reverse shell. What is the IP address and port number? What command posed an obstacle during the process of the reverse shell? Wow. All this underneath a medium. That's a lot. So I've already got it pulled off, so don't really need to have a reason for the VM to be up. I am not overly concerned about something. I'm not running WordPress on the host that I'm doing the analysis on, so I don't think I have to worry too much. Network Miner is still processing, so we will start with Wireshark. So let me bring this around. WordPress, bring that on top. Whoa. It gets a little bit large through there. All right, so we transition this over here, and now we have the wonderful Wireshark display. So the first aspect is, what is the IP address of the WordPress server? So let's see, we've got our 192.168.204.1, which would be our probably router. And then we got 192.168.204.128. We are just seeing what fuzzes out. Yep, here we go. So somebody does get WordPress. So that's the 204.1 to the 192.168.204.128. So if that holds true, then we should be looking at 192.168.204, 128. Woot, woot. Okay, so then we're moving on. Two attackers were attempting to compromise the environment. What is the IP address of the first attacker in reference to time? I mean, do we end up seeing anything else? Yeah, hang on. Okay, so then we're back looking at the traffic. And I mean, what we basically see is a lot of 192.168.204.1. And then we start seeing others start to pop in the mix. We just basically have somebody that's going through and browsing around. We're still sticking with mostly communications between .1 and .128 as we're digging through this. We start to see the introduction for 132 and then an entirely separate So effectively, I am just looking for something that looks odd. I know that doesn't help a whole heck of a lot. Like, we see communications as we go through here from 95, 100, 130, 57. And it looks like they start communicating back and forth. And then we start seeing a post. Move temporarily. But again, nothing that, I mean, realistically looks off. And we start seeing a 192.0.73.2 that starts trying to talk to our server. Doing a handshake, it's doing talking. It just looks like a bunch of stuff trying to reach out. Device. Meta. metadata.scv. API, but that's okay. That's a different one. That's .2. And then we have 216.58.205.196 with a bunch of payloads back and forth there. And network miner is still running through. So I guess let's take a look at conversations. IPv4, who did the most talking? And if we were looking for let's go total packets. And so the format that they're looking for the two attackers, it looks like it's 3 octets, dot 3 octets, dot 3 octets, dot 3 octets. Or wait a minute, that might actually be showing up because that might be viewed as a second window. It is indeed viewed as a second window. Oof. Give me 1 second. I see it. I realize you cannot see it, so we will fix that. If I just don't get it all in the wrong spots. All right, let's see if I can take this and shrink this down just a little wee bit. I can try making it bigger. Okay, transition that over. Bing, bang, boom. Now we can actually see that through there. Okay, had to drop and come back. But if we go by, let's see, where was it? Relative start. 127 in, and also in the fact of communicating back and forth. We again see what looks to be the internal start for 192.168.204.32. So on a hunch, I tried that, and lo and behold, that's our first attacker. So now we're looking for the Apache. Versions. And with that, yep, okay. So if, let me bring up Network Miner. There's a new version out. Oh, God. Okay, we need to adjust the size of this thing. It's just a little bit too big, and I realize, yes, you guys can't see anything yet. I am working on that. I will make sure that it comes through. All right, that actually looks decent. Okay, so we transition in. So we've got again, the saved pcap, not pcapng. We've got it loaded up inside of Network Miner, and underneath hosts, we can find our server, which is, again, 192.168.204.128. And then we can bring up host details. And so we can see that the parent name is desktop-2R3ARR22. It is a Windows host. And we can just kind of dig through, and one of the items we see is a Web Banner 1 TCP 80. So on port 80, we have Apache 2.4.58, OpenSSL 3.1.3, PHP 8.2.12, which is the aspect that they are looking for. And so they want everything formatted in the Apache version number. So it'd be 2.4.58. Then they want an underscore, and then they want the PHP. So 8.2.12. And again, I'm seeing it right here. It's just basically taking that aspect. So if we go back just to verify that that is in there and is accepted at the very bottom here, as long as it's formatted correctly, that is correct. We could likely take a look at a conversation. Some sort of response or resource that would have to be the communications back and forth that would denote. And I don't know what we would theoretically, we'd be looking for PHP. So if we followed a comms traffic, like so if we grabbed, oh, sorry, that's not up being shown. So if we found like some of the attacker traffic, or we'll just try this .1 to the other portion, and if we follow TCP stream, let me guess, you she's loading, it's just taking a second. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Why are we not getting this? I am trying to, okay, bring up the actual conversations so that way it's visible. It's going to run off the screen, but okay. So if we take a look at the data that would be presented here in the communications back and forth, you can see that we do have it in a back and forth with the server, because that banner is what you would expect to see if you were accessing that server on port 80. So the data would come along. So, and again, it's the same portion. Apache 2.4.58, OpenSSL 3.1.3, and PHP 8.2.12. Again, the only thing we care about for the question is Apache version number and PHP version number. But obviously, it was effectively maybe one or two clicks less to just load it up in Network Miner and go from there. Not that that's terrible or bad. So we've got one of the conversations with the attacker. So the question is, we don't need the stream anymore. So we'll get that out of the way. And it's going to go through and rebuild. So while we're doing that, what's the next portion? We are looking for the enumeration. and we're trying to figure out how many users were enumerated. So I'm expecting that we're going to see what, a bunch of aspects for okay. Yeah, so they ran WPS scan, and you'd be like, okay, where are you pulling that from? I am pulling that from bringing again back up Network Miner, and we're going underneath parameters, and it was just kind of floating around. So this gives us a little bit more, so we can tell that per the pcap, the attacker at 132 is a Kali box, and they were running WPS scan. So cookie check, cookie check. And this is as we go further on. So let's see, did WP, so WordPress scan, did that do an actual check for users that we could actually try to just pull out from parameters? So it's basically just running through. So wp config.htm, wp config.good. I guess maybe if you've got like a good backup and you don't want it to go away, I guess. .org. Yeah, I've done that before. For original, just shorthand. I've also sat there and taken malware and just turned it into .xxx. So we're still looking for something here that would stand out as an actual user check. And it looks like this is just checking the actual config files, trying to find, okay, maybe active or working directories to run through. wp-config.php.aws. Well, I mean, I'm assuming that's must have been observed somewhere. Back one. And then we seem to move away from all that. I mean, I figured if it's going to enumerate, it's going to end up showing up from. Oh, here we go. wp.getUsers blogs. So and it looks like they just run through looking for parameters. So Demogorgon, I love you, 111. Ashley, Michael. Oh, and I'm too far over that I can't actually see the rest of the information off this. Yeah, the back and forth, gotta love it. So is this is still doing cookie checks, everything else like that through that massive portion. And then it's not until we get into roughly whereabout are we for this? It seems like we get down to here, so frame number 144,400. In that frame, it looks like all that stuff was going through there. So can we just take the parameter value? Let me get word, no, or yeah, word bad. No, I've still got my last CTF stuff in there. Okay, so it looks like it's Demo Morgan, Ashley. How many of these were run before it was, yeah, then we just kind of stop. Okay, so let's do this. Let's grab the XML version. So let's see, we got Demo Morgan. We got Ashley again. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I did not want to select all that. Okay, we're just going to stick with the parameter value then. Because then that's just this. Okay, so that's why that looks exactly the same, because it literally was just a copy and paste up the same. Demo Morgan, then we get 111. And we'll just count the individuals that they try. But wasn't there something in there in regards to like Michael as well? And now I'm not seeing that one in here. Can I just get... Is there... Oh, okay, there's another one that I might have missed. Or another few that I might have missed. I just want to make sure. Nope, we got another one for the get. Why did my control not register? Oh, oh well. I mean, it is an older keyboard. Is that it? Okay, that appears to be it. So we're going to copy. Only allows 10 rows to be copied at a time. Okay. You are definitely making the case for me to sit there and buy for simplicity's sake. But let's just didn't register it again. You mother. Okay, let's try the left control as opposed to the right and see if that does any better. Ooh-sa. Okay, fine. Fine. We will just go and break this down one section at a time manually. And of course, I'm going to be really upset if I'm actually just barking up the wrong place to try to get the enumeration values from this. But, oh well. We still got a little bit, yeah, we still got a little bit more. Because of course we still have a little bit more. And a little bit after that. A little bit more after that. And still more. I mean, if this is going to take much longer, should probably just pause it for the simplicity of time. So you just not see me sit there and just copy and paste and copy and paste and copy and paste over and over and over again. Because I can't imagine that makes very good content. Maybe we're at the end of this now? Maybe? Possibly? You know, it just would have been better if I just would have kept my mouth shut. Crap. Alright, we gotta be getting close now. As he still continues to find more and more. Okay, so supposedly it's a single digit value. So let me bring over Notepad. So this is what we end up with, at least from what I've gathered from there. So again, that's all the wp.get users blogs. And so the one consistent string throughout all this is Demo Morgan. And then it looks like it's trying to go through and do passwords. Right? Is this just all? Yeah. So Chocolate, Sunshine, Tigger, Michelle, I love you 0000000111111 QWERTY Ashley Michael. Okay, so that's where those come in. I just automatically threw out this. This is just nothing but the password values. Password of password. So then is the answer that they're only enumerating one? No. Okay. So the hint is check /WordPress/author. So I don't suppose. Okay, let me close this. So the hint probably would have helped. So we're still underneath parameters. And so I just put what the hint was /WordPress/author. And we get multiple. But we get A114M. And we get a not 7 Amuksha. So that would make it not 1, but 2. No? Still wrong. But that's the only ones that I end up seeing there. And again, the ones that are pulled by our attacker at 132. Not 7 Amushka, not 7 Amuksha. And then they're getting Amuksha, they're getting A114M. I mean, that looks like to me that's just those. But let's take a look at the actual PCAP. All right, see if we get anything different off that. So let me bring Network Miner down. And so what we've done is we brought up the search. We've got packet list. Do packet details, and we're just looking for again /WordPress. This was file not found. What were you looking for? You were looking for WordPress author sitemap. And this is author. Okay, so we get A, oh, my apologies, A1, L4M. We get another one for the not 7 Amuksha, A1, L4M. Another one for A1, L4M. Not 7 Amuksha. This is to get. I mean, to me, that says. Can we follow the stream? Not that one. is follow stream. So we get the A1. So it looks like it just pulls the general stuff like what they would use. Yeah. And then we get, here's not 7 Amaksha. And we get all this again. So their own little section. And now they're doing get WordPress author equals 3. Did I just somehow skip past? Alright, I'm going to try using the location headers in here. So we're doing, so WordPress author gives it the first one. A1, not 7, not 7. Demo Morgan. Three. Well, at least we were able to verify it. And this time we actually used, well, okay. I'm speaking like we've actually got this one in the bag. Nope, not 34. Transition this back here. 3. Okay, so then the question is, how did we... Where did we get this wrong then? Everything showed up inside of Network Miner underneath that aspect. But that one didn't show up underneath author, but it was underneath the check. Whatever. Okay, then we're looking for... So after this was done, we had a brute force. So we're going to want to get rid of the stream. Stream filter, and we're just going to let this go through. Okay, and that was, we were around frame, what was it, 144,000? And then a page was attacked for brute forcing. So let's see, we gotta go up. So it was what? 144. 410? Somewhere within there, right? And then we're posting. What are we posting? And why are we posting into XML RPC? Oh, so what we caught was the brute force. That's what we were seeing by the wp.getUserBlogs. That we just spent all that time building that stuff out with the copy and paste. Okay. Okay, so that's what we're seeing here is them going through and blasting this. So this is frame 144515. This is after all of the portions for everything else. And so what they're trying is, so they're submitting the value, demo Morgan, and then they're trying a variety of passwords. So the 11111111 password, I love you 000000, and so forth. So what are that? They're looking for something .3. XML RPC dot PHP. Took me a second. I'm like, wait, what was the? Yep, and then to show that I'm just not full of crap, I'm pulling it out of my rear end right there. So we're getting there. So now we need to find the username and password that actually worked. So then we're going to have to drag this sucker down. So then what we're looking for theoretically would be what? A response of that, yes, congratulations, you've got it. So the question is that we need to figure out what well, that doesn't help a whole heck of a lot. But if we go to pass our credentials, oh, sorry, network miner. If we bring that up, thankfully this is able to go through and verify. So what we can see is it appears that not 7 Amuksha had the password of 7 alpha 4 alpha 1395. A1L4M had the password of 558066695. And Demo Morgan had the password of Foxtrot 69 Charlie Delta 672. So the question is, which one of these worked? If we use the answer format, it's either going to be not 7 Amuksha, or it's going to be Demo Morgan. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's going to be Demo Morgan if we're using the test. Demo Morgan, and then her password was what? Can we just, oh, sweet, we can just copy it. That didn't quite work, guys. Copy password. That's what I want. I don't want. Okay. Let's see if we're actually right. No. Okay. Well, we'll see as to how this changes. So they give us, underneath the hint, what looks to be a filter for us to apply. Apparently not, because it doesn't look like that's appropriate context. So frame contains XML RPC. That seems to work. Or at least it comes back as green. Gotta give it a second for this to repopulate. So do we have a section in here where it talks about, hey, this is not correct? I mean, this thing is effectively blasting it with the different values, but what's this one? This is hitting the same thing. Form item. And yet in here we don't get but this does have the back and forth, right? Or no, this is all one-sided. This is all the attacker blasting into. So this filter great limits down to what we've got, but we're not seeing the actual response. I mean, we do get it to 100, but blog name is admin. Okay, can we just follow this? Can you tell us if we follow a stream? Can you show us? Because it's like, okay, we see one, but how about tell me what the other aspect was? All right. So if we bring this up, so we get the post to the WordPress XML rpc.php. We get the call, so it looks like demo Morgan. And then we get a 200 response. The general header. And then we get the response in terms of what? We get the name. So then it's just straight demo Morgan, demo Morgan. I mean, if I'm reading that right. Okay, so then that makes me wonder, could these be like maybe base 64 coded or something? Something? I'm just trying to come up with some sort of reason as to why the credentials tab in Network Miner gave us what looked to be like a random password as opposed to anything else. So we'll dump that in there. We'll do this. It's like, oh, hey, I don't know what to do with this really, with magic. Okay, fine. Try from. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Okay, so now we're down looking for plugins. So we need to figure out what has a vuln that can be exploited. Okay, so we're going to take a look. Network Miner, and we are filtering and searching again underneath parameters for plugins. So we are seeing Modash plugins, we're seeing plugins, Canto, and we're seeing, so it looks like it specifies absolute path to 172.26.211.155, port 8000, and it looks it allows it to run a command. CMD equals who am I, CMD equals ls, CMD equals ps list. So I'm assuming the vuln is going to be a plugin. Is going to be Canto, since it's the only thing we find referenced in there. And so if we were to do it with Wireshark, we again bring up the search, which is the magnifying glass. We put plugins, and again we're taking a look at the items that show up inside there. And we see, again, the aspect of Canto includes libdownload.php. So apparently it pulls something from port 8000 off that host. That's the only one that we end up seeing through there. So what's the CVE number associated with the plugin? So then we are looking for Canto WordPress plugin CVE. And just pop this in here. We'll do a DuckDuckGo search. And looks like CVE 2023-3425 might hold the answer that we are looking for. It is, okay, well, not RCE, but remote file inclusion, utilizing the WP_admin ASB path, which is exactly what we're observing to that 172 address on port 8000. So we're going to take CVE. I'm going to pop that in there. All right. And then they want the IP address of the C2, which is what was being pointed out in the ASB path. So that's going to be the 172.26.2.11.155. So 172 dot 26.211.155. We pop that back and okay, took it. And then to verify network miner, we can bring that up. Doing basically twice the work, but I just figured it might be helpful that if you weren't going to sit there and pull this out, that you'd want to sit there and have like a different approach. So you could still do it in Wireshark. So we're trying to do everything that we can that way to find the answers, but then also have if you want to do network miner and kind of save yourself. We observe the same exact thing here when we filter again underneath parameters and we're searching for plugins. And it's at the very bottom where we get the mention of Canto and port 8000. So what's the other aspect that we're looking here? What is the name of the function that the attacker tested the exploit with? And apparently it needs to end with a open and close parentheses. That one I think I am going to need to sit there and take the hint for, because I'm not entirely sure what they're asking in regards to that. Something with parentheses, but yet we have not observed anything like that in this whole aspect, unless it's something in the actual like TCP streams. Let me pull up Wireshark. So how many more of these? We've got to be near the end, right? Oy vey. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Well, okay, the reverse function. That one we can probably answer, because shouldn't it just be the 172.26.211.155 and port 8000? No. Okay, so I'm missing something else here that they're trying to hit up. So we're looking for something to then end. And I don't even know if I am on the right path with this or not. No, that's fine. Let's just do this. Let's ask for the hint. Check admin.php and take time into consideration. So I'm assuming it may not be like immediate. At least it's going to be my guess. I realize it's not very riveting to run through this and try to pull this together. Because it's like, okay, what did you actually try? So let me take this back up. Let me bring Wireshark up and we'll take a look there. So we're looking for admin.php. And we've got it searching for that right now since we're starting at the very beginning of the pcap. Oh, this is taking longer than what I thought. Okay, so we get our hit when we're doing the request for okay, if we follow the sequence here, so we get, what is this, frame or whatever, 137,044. We get the get, and we allow for the drift, so we get a 200. So we got a 200. Let's follow the TCP stream on this one. Okay, so that comes up. And then what we're looking at is, so we get the get wp admin.php, and then we end up getting out a PHP info and then ending in parentheses. That was it. So let me bring this back and then some right here. So the field that was inside there. And then as for network miner, I don't know how would you end up actually getting that. So what was the frame that we found that under? Um, 137047. Okay, well that's building up. What's the next thing we're looking for? What is the name and version of the attacker server? So it looks like the name should be 6 characters and then a version, major version number, a double digit sub, and then, or is it build and then subversion? I don't know. All right. I mean, if I had to guess, so we're taking a look at 155, then is likely going to be what we need to get information out of. So I'm thinking is I'm looking around that general time in network miner. Again, I need parameters around that particular portion. So we're getting a server data from source of the 172.26.211.155. Where we get the OK is 137047. So this is the one just before. And then we get the reply back. So I'm assuming it's going to be Python 3.10.12, so it's just the simple HTTP. So Python dash 3.10.12. Hey, got it. And then we'll have to figure out how. So we've got that one right there. So then how are we going to do this in regards to Wireshark? So we've got it from here. So it's the same aspect. So we take a look at the same portion. So if we were to follow the whole communication stream for this one. So this is stream 275 in Wireshark. We should see the back and forth, and then we'll get the, do we? Yeah. So we get the pulling. So to get WP admin off of the box. And then we get the response. And where we found the actual answer to the previous question is the function that's being abused, the PHP info, open and close parentheses. So the response there gives us simple HTTP slash 0.6 Python slash 3.10.12. Oh, crap, hang on. Just realized you guys can't see that. There it is. Oh, I had to play with that a little bit. So that was highlighted. You know what? I just realized I turned off the ticker at the bottom. Or wait, which one did I have going? I don't even remember anymore. I got two of them. I got the light green one and then the actual, yeah, I think we'll just go with this one. Whoopsie. Okay, well, we've got that. So we're down to the last few. We've got to get the username that was logged in during the attack, including the domain. So my thought is if they were able to sit there and kick off the requests to port 8000, that might be where we want to concentrate. What we're looking at here. So let's cancel that. So they want the username, everything else like that. So like if we take a look, I realize, yes, I don't have it shared because I'm just poking at this to see if the active user is displayed. Yeah. Okay, so we're looking for the output from the who am I. So we'll just do the same thing. Find who am I? I think there was once or twice that it showed up. So let's follow the TCP stream on this one so we can see the conversation back and forth. Not entirely sure if we can get the response from anything else. So it looks like they kick at the first one and they get a fatal reply. Okay, that's fine. There's a second, or at least I think there's a second one. They get the response. I gotta have it filtered through again. So let's see, let's get Wireshark back up here. So I'm fairly certain Network Miner showed two of them. Yeah, it did. This will make it a little bit easier to go searching. So underneath frame 138545 was the first one, which I had pulled up, and looks like something didn't respond well with it. And then there should be another one underneath 235875. And it looks like Wireshark is still trying to search through all of this mess. I mean, it is a, what, 250 megabyte PNG or pcapng file? Alright, here we go. Here's the second run through. So if we do the same thing, follow TCP stream, and I again fight with this thing to get it to show. Maybe, possibly. Come on. Yeah, stream 1428. That comes up. Looks like they run it again. They get the who am I. They get a 200. Desktop dash 2R3AR22, which we confirmed previously by looking at Network Miner underneath the hosts, and it was running as administrator. Not a giant surprise if it was just a box that was stood up. So we're just going to copy that, transition back to beautiful. And then supposedly there was a attempted to upload a reverse shell. So they tried to do something else. Okay, so if we take a look at CMD, so we can take a look and see what commands were run. So we got the two who am I's. We have an ls to get the list of everything that's there, and then we have a ps list, so it should be process list. I'm not seeing much of anything else come out from this. So what if we just do :8,000 so we can try to limit where we're looking in regards to this. But we'll use this to kind of take a look. So the last activity that we have recorded here is 240359, according to Network Miner. So let's go poking around 24035. Actually, what was the LS one? 236907. I mean, if we're gonna do this, let's tell the whole tale, and let's take a look and see what's 907. Connection lost. System get CMD. Okay, this is a bit more than what I was kind of expecting, but please let us follow the TCP stream on this one. We're so close. Yeah, this is a rather big pcap to be sitting there running around with. It's only being a medium, but I guess you don't really have to do as much. I guess you're just having to run through all this stuff. No, this whole thing that doesn't give me anything. Okay, let me close this one out. Get file streaming service. Alright, what was the other one we were looking at? It is 240359. Two four zero 035. We're close. We're close. We're close. We're close. So we get PS list. Let's follow that stream, baby. Can you dig it? It does not look. That's the entire conversation. So, well, they're trying to do a PS list, but for whatever reason. So I guess I can understand as to why they would then turn around. It's just like, yeah, we need something a little bit better. Something more. Oops. Wireshark is... Wait, really? Oh, it's because it defaulted back to the other one. Alright, so now we're basically just left trying to figure out what did you try to upload after all this. So you couldn't get a directory listing. You couldn't get a process list. So what did you try next? So let's see what Network Miner will tell us in a short view. I've got it clearing the search. So it should be something after 240, 359. At least that's going to be my guess. All right, so let's drag this down to 4. Yeah, there's still a lot to dig through here. So what else did you try to do there, buddy? What else did you try to do? Oops. $359. And this is again back to the same aspect. Oh, source this time shows up as 204.1. So the other aspect we haven't looked at is files. Download.php. That's supposed to be HTML. Looks like they tried to do it. I should show you what I'm seeing. That might be a little bit more helpful. That comes up. Oh God, that's just like all over the place. Let me try shrinking that down a little bit. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, transition that in. Thank you. Okay, so what we can see is WordPress WP content plugins Canto. INCL, so then we have a download.php. And it looks like something got thrown. Like an error message in regards to it. And what we're trying to do is find out what the reverse shell was trying to actually. Okay, so I think they want the. Take that out, transition this over. Network mic. Okay, so what else do we have? What else did you try there, buddy? So it looks like it was trying to reach back out to over. What's the destination? So it's 192.168.204.1, and it should be a 3-digit. That's a what, 5-digit? And apparently the format should be 3 octets, 2 octets, 3 octets, 3 octets. All right, so we had to spend a little bit more time running through this, so I'm just gonna run up and down. Okay, so I checked the hint. The attacker attempted to upload a reverse shell. What is the IP address and port number? And basically the hint is check the last uploaded admin.php page. And all I keep coming back to is the 172.26.211.155 port 8000, which we already kind of knew, but doesn't quite seem to take. So I pulled those up in Network Miner, and the only thing that comes back from that is pretty much just PHP. Well, here, let me just show you, rather than tell you. So the last one that's there, that's basically just this. But again, all the information that's here denotes it should still be 172.26.211.155 TCP port 8000. And pretty much all of them are in the same aspect. All PHP, all port 8000, but yet, nada. And then looking in Wireshark, for the same particular aspect, kind of gives us the same exact aspect. We can see host 172.26.211.155, port 8000. And the same thing with get command. So there does not appear to be, I don't know. I mean, 'cause 8000 seems to be it as it is formatted to be a 4-digit character for the port. But yet. So it's like if I said I wanted to see about exporting. Admin.php. See if I can find it in the export list for this. There's still more to do with because it's too old. I realize it's not showing up. So let's see, can we get the object list showing up for you? There we go. Got the object list. But again, we're seeing it right here, 172.26.211.155, port 8000. Okay, I've got it exported, and we're going to sit there and basically just slap our heads. Or I'm going to, at least. Alright, so I've opened up the file in question. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger and potentially move this out of the way a little bit. Booyah! Okay, so if we take a look at here, we can see 172.26.211.155. Port is 1234. So we're not seeing it there. So it is literally check the PHP file. So that's fun. Sitting there beating my head against the wall for this, and it's just like, gotta take it literally, not figuratively, literally. So we go back to Firefox, and there it is. 172.26.211.155, port 1234. And then it's what command posed an obstacle during the process of the reverse shell. So then they would, what? They would just try to actually kick the thing off? Just poking at this to see as to whether or not if we've got like a list, but okay, well, what was the hint? Filter for the outsourced connection with the port number. So in other words, all we care about is what went out on port 1234. So if we take a look at parameters, and we just do 1234. And let's see as to whether or not if we can limit this. Okay, so we got port destination. No, we are not seeing that in Network Miner. Okay. Well, let's start digging around in Wireshark. And so we need TCP port 1234, or source port. Okay, so it looks like there was try for back and forth here. And also through here. Both of which were on the attack side. So what if I follow a TCP/IP stream on this one? So we can see about getting both sides. Uname is not recognized as an internal external name, operable program, or batch file, which would make sense because I don't think uname is a command you can run on Windows. I think that is strictly Linux based. So then is the answer just uname? Yeah, the answer is just uname. And so we found that by basically filtering for source port 1234. So now the problem comes, how would we actually pull that together? So we've still got it filtered, right? In Wireshark. Yes, we do. So those ranges are frame 145206 and also then 145270. Okay, so we've got our ranges and we'll pull up Network Miner and see if we can puzzle the rest of this out from the other side. Source port of 1234 does not give us anything underneath parameters. How about destination port for 1234? Yep, Network Miner's not grinding on this, so I don't think that there's anything there. It could be the fact, too, that my AV just does not like that. So let's see, do we get files for anything to show up in that general range of 145? Two zero seven 145. I'm not really seeing anything in there. So let's try the same thing. Let's try not source Howard, but S port. Destination port. Okay. I might have to just go through and spend it on my own time rather than waste additional cycles in regards to this. So there we go. This has been the Malicious WordPress Plugin challenge on the Let's Defend platform. Hopefully you're still with me after an hour and 45 plus minutes. So basically a combination of both tools, Wireshark and Network Miner, in order to actually get this sucker hammered out. So by all means, do please go and play with both. And with all that being said, I will see everybody in the next video.